guys, I'm here to tell you about Watercraft Superstore's unboxing competition. Entering is easy and you can win awards like cash, rebates, merchandise, gift cards, and lots of other cool stuff. Winners are picked every other week. To enter your video, simply post the video on any 2 social media sites, including Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Make sure to tag at Watercraft Superstore or hashtag WCSS, and then send us an email with a link to your videos, your name, and the invoice number so we can contact you when you win. We like videos that are creative, short, and show our products. We're looking forward to seeing your awesome videos.
And we're live.
Hey, it's the Watercraft Network boys.
Jody, Kevin, Mel, intern, all in the house tonight. Can't see the other two, but they're here.
That's because we choose not to be on the camera.
Good thing.
You know, it's Wednesday. It's that time of week. It's time for us to brighten your midweek and come to you live from the Rap Cave Studios here in New York. Got exciting things going on. This show will actually be broadcast on Roku. We're super stoked about that. Thank you,
Tomorrow,
Roku.
right?
Yeah, starting tomorrow. So any of you that have Roku or know someone who has Roku, you're able to watch the show on Roku now. And
So it's going to be Watercraft Network Wednesday and Thursday.
yeah, you'll be able to, if you miss us here on Facebook Thursday night, or you can even go on demand on Roku and, dial up Watercraft Network, do a little search on demand, find us, and boom, the boys are in your house, hanging in the living room. Make sure you have beers, But really great show lined up for tonight. Kind of excited about this one. It's funny because if you noticed in the message exchange with Dan, I think it was back in 2018 that we were originally going to talk to him. And, stuff just happens where we get busy, other people get busy, and you don't get to talk to the person you want to talk to. And, but finally,
Different set of circumstances.
yeah, unfortunately, different set of circumstances. But hey, out of a negative can come a positive when the community comes together. And, we're really honored to have our guest on tonight, Dan Lindgren from the Grayland Open. And for those of you that don't know, Grayland is one of those events similar to a Wave Days, similar to a Daytona Free Ride, similar to Pismo.
Much different surf.
Oh yeah, Pacific Northwest, violence. I mean, this is where a lot of the top riders in the world have really cut their teeth in terms of going out and riding in really, really professional caliber surf conditions. So we're really excited to have Dan on tonight, and we're going to talk with him about a campaign that was established by H2O Industries. And before we get Dan on, we really have to give a shout out to Brandon and Brittany
From H2O Industries, yep.
Yeah, I mean, they just they really stepped up here, and it's refreshing. Sometimes you forget the caliber of the of the quality of the people within this community. Anyone who hasn't seen H2O Industries covers, they're absolutely amazing. I mean, they're the high-end cover of the personal watercraft industry, or their covers are second to none. There's really no equal. And they're very, very involved in the free ride community. And there was a tragic accident back in August of this year.
Early August, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure the exact date, but Dan will fill us in there. And one of the regulars from Grayland, West Coast, Northwest surf rider, was in an injury, not while riding at Grayland, just out on a
Couple weeks prior on a boat.
every day, just like you or us on the weekends, just chilling at the water, relaxing, enjoying life, and had a tragic accident. And this gentleman is actually a 20-year plus Army veteran, and he's now paralyzed from the waist down. And Brandon and Brittany over at H2O Industries established a giving back campaign, which they're hashtagging, and they have a Facebook page. You can find stuff on h2oindustries.com website. Very nice write-up about Stephen and, his military career. And, obviously a freak accident like that turns your life upside down. Stephen and his wife have had to sell their home.
What could you imagine? 20 years in the military, survive all that stuff.
Yep.
Everything all of the tours that he's had to do.
Everything.
And he made it back alive without a scratch. And maybe not without a scratch, but.
Wow, yeah.
He made it back. And freak industry takes him out.
It's amazing how, things can change in the blink of an eye. And, so H2O Industries has done a great job of their call to arms. They're asking the community to please step up and support this former military member who provided that blanket of freedom that we all, live so comfortably under, and support him in any way you can. Businesses, you're able to donate product to H2O Industries is putting together an incredible prize pack for Daytona Freeride. They're going to be in Daytona in January. Those of you that don't own a business, you're just an average rider like us. You love Watercraft. You appreciate the military. There's also a way through the h2oindustries.com website to throw them some money. And that money, Watercraft Network is looking to cover the transaction fees monetarily.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to work with H2O Industries. We've already submitted a monetary donation, and we're going to work with Brandon and Brittany to cover all of the transaction fees. So every penny that you're generous enough to donate to Stephen, he's going to get that. Those transaction fees will be absorbed by Watercraft Network and H2O Industries. And
if I remember correctly, it's a $5 donation. And for every $5 that you donate, excuse me, you get a raffle ticket.
Yeah, he's going to be on next week. We'll let him explain all that. Right. I think you're right. I
think it was every $5.
And you got to understand, this just all came together on what, Saturday?
Sunday.
Sunday, we were out in the shop working on some stuff, and we had a conversation with Brandon and Brittany. Well, he had sent her in to get him coffee, but just busted his chops. But this all came together really quickly, and we have to again give props and kudos to both Brandon and Brittany at H2O Industries, because they're really the catalysts for this. They're really the driving force.
All right. Well, why don't we get Dan on?
Yeah, let's bring Dan in.
You got one of the things we have to remember now with Roku is we have
half-hour show.
We have to keep this down to a half-hour show.
This,
so
baby.
I got to throttle you back a little bit.
Drive the bus, player. Drive the bus.
All right. Why don't we get Dan on?
Yeah,
You going to go to a commercial first, Mel? No, we're going to go right to Dan?
Oops, he's on the wrong side.
Oh, he's on that side.
I changed it up.
Wow, I guess.
Look at Dan looking all sharp there. Check this guy out. Nice.
Nice.
Representing. Hey, Dan, we know you're a super busy guy, and we appreciate you taking some time this evening to join us here on Watercraft Network.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, guys.
And
it's been a while.
before we jump into things, I don't know if you noticed, we had gone back and forth via Messenger to get you on the show a couple years ago, because to us East Coast guys, Grayland is like that. It's just that legendary type of event that is just known throughout North America to be one of the premier freeride events in the country. So we apologize, we just haven't been able to connect with you prior.
No worries, but we finally made it. So Grayland is definitely one of the events in the freeride community that's known really well, and where a lot of the pro level riders have got their starts. In fact, most of them have, and that's international too. So we get a lot of good attendance at the event, and it was a great stepping stone for riders to move their way up the ranks and to compete at Surf Slam, which was the IFWA USA tour stop for many years. Right. But I've got some exciting news for you guys if you don't know about it yet. I've actually planted a new event in Seabrook, which is another town here near where I live. And it's going to be the IFWA tour stop for 2021, replacing Surf Slam, assuming that we can have the event.
Wow.
I'm planning for it. Got things in motion already, so that should be pretty exciting. We'll have the Grayland Open in August, second weekend of August, and then we'll have the Seabrook Surf and Send in September, weekend after Labor Day.
Wow, that's
So,
fantastic. Congratulations on that. We know that John was always
Part of Surf Slam.
he was really the driving force behind Surf Slam. And I know that Scott and the guys tried to continue that tradition after John's untimely passing. But I think for you guys to pick that up and really host an event, of that caliber in that region, it's you're filling a void.
yeah, it needed to be done. It's something I'd been thinking about for a long time, and been in talks with Carol Ann at the IFWA for probably a year and a half or 2 years. Talked to a lot of the guys. I knew that we could actually make the event happen. I have some good local resources. We've got great surf. We've got a great community to come and vacation to. And I, have the drive to do it. So that's why it's happening. So.
Hey, Dan, it's one thing before we obviously want to touch on Steven and what Brittany
For sure.
and Brandon from H2O Industries have come up with in conjunction with you. But we just wanted to ask you, what would you attribute, all
You
cut
guys.
their teeth?
I just lost you there for a second, and you just came
Oh,
back. So
Oh, okay, good.
I
Yeah,
missed the question.
our producer Mel was saying must be internet, lag or something.
Yeah.
But we just wanted to get your opinion before we start talking about other stuff about, what produces such amazing free riders in that part of the country.
Well, we have a really, really solid and strong group, West Coast Surf Riders, the shirt I'm wearing right now. And it encompasses riders from all the way down in California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana. We've got just a really large net, this group does, and we come and we meet in Grayland and we ride there often. Those of us that are local, we're there pretty much every weekend, and we've got a lot of guys that come down as far, from 2 to 3 hours away regularly on the weekends. So what we have is a large, diverse group of riders that come from a lot of different places, and we all get along really well, and we all push each other to try new things, and we get stoked for each other when we have big wave days. We're all just, our hearts are pumping, and we just have a lot of heart for the sport of free ride and being in the ocean. There's nowhere I'd rather be actually than on my ski in the surf.
Yeah, and
And we have good surf here often. So
yeah, and it makes sense, that there's such a collaborative community, like a brotherhood, because it's just, like I said, it's a legendary area. It seems like it's almost, the birth of free riding is, up in your area in Oregon, Washington, that whole Pacific Northwest.
yeah, I had the Grayland Open's been going on for 10 years. The first year of Surf Slam was also the first year of the Grayland Open. So between John and I putting on the two different events, one being more of an amateur event and Surf Slam being the more pro level event, they just worked well together. And I think that's another factor. I think the fact that we actually had contests that people would get excited about going and competing in, it just made them want to buy surf skis and made them want to come out and ride Grayland on the weekend so they could get good enough to where they felt comfortable, being in the competition. Competition weekends are always like something that we all look forward to, because that's when one of those, those are those big weekends when the whole entire West Coast Surf Riders group gets together and is at the events and supporting each other during the contest, helping each other with boats, whatever needs to happen. There's competition for sure, but competition with support. There's nobody that has a bad attitude about losing. If anything, they're just congratulating the guy that they competed against. And if you've never experienced it, it's a unique group to be a part of, and the contests are really, really fun to be at.
You don't have your mic on there, son.
I wish that would happen on the East Coast.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
those guys, it's more bragging rights than it is, winning. They all want to see each other succeed, and that's really what the community's
Yeah.
about. And it's really, an excellent segue for us to start talking about, a really unfortunate incident. But as we said earlier, out of negatives come positives, and again, we have to really credit Brandon and Brittany from H2
H2O Industries.
yeah, H2O Industries for bringing us together and really spearheading this. And we touched on it as we were opening the show. Your buddy, your friend,
Hmm.
and if you could, just shed a little bit of light. We understand that your friend Steven, 21-year Army vet, was injured just on a recreational weekend, not out riding, and
Yeah,
it's really obviously turned his life upside down.
totally has. Steven, I met about 2 years ago. He got into, he decided he wanted to try riding surf. He found our group. He linked up with us, bought a new Superjet, kind of went through that whole thing, put the pipe on it, did all the stuff, got it ready for surf, and started coming out pretty regularly. And then pretty much, I mean, he was really enjoying it. Loved being a part of the group. We loved having him. He was consistently coming out and riding with us a lot. And he bought a new crash, kind of built that. He just had finished kind of doing a rebuild on that, and he went on vacation, him and his wife with some friends over to Banks Lake in Eastern Washington. And they were just hanging out on the boat on a sunny day and diving in the water and swimming. And, he dove in head first, and there must have been a sandbar or a log or something. They don't know for sure what it was because they didn't really go back and inspect, but he hit his head on something and it compressed, his spine, and he had a pretty devastating injury. We were set to have the big Grayland Open get together ride the very next weekend. He was all pumped about it. We were all pumped about it. And, and this thing happened, and it was a pretty scary situation for his wife. She didn't know if he was going to make it. They had to airlift him in a helicopter to the hospital from Banks Lake. And, it's a traumatic thing. And Steve is a very, very active guy. He's ex-military. He loves to travel. He loves to recreate and, go RVing and jet skiing. And he's got, side by side and hunt. Like he's an avid outdoorsman. And, this type of injury, is devastating to him. So I really love that Brandon and H2O Industries are stepping up and trying to help him out, because, along with that injury comes a lot of financial stress.
Right.
They had a split level home that had stairs to get in it. And so he literally never came back to his house. They had to sell it. He was, his house got sold while he was still up in the hospital. And, because he couldn't come home to it. He wasn't able to, to access the house properly, being in a wheelchair now. So, they had to get a different apartment. And, although I'm sure he had pretty decent medical coverage, which is good, because he worked for the state parks department. He still there's a lot of expenses, a lot of financial stress, a lot of just, emotional stress. And I think that giving back to him in this way is a huge, huge thing. Just, at least a gesture.
Oh, Dan, 100%. I think a lot of us take for granted, and I think we don't really think about the fact that in the event something like that happens, how life-changing it is. And like you said, the implications, not just financially, but mentally. I mean, you're talking about, vets already deal with PTSD to a degree, and a whole host of problems that they have to deal with mentally and emotionally. And how are his spirits right now? How's he doing?
For a guy in his situation, I mean, Steven's a tough guy. Like he's mentally tough. I think it just comes from his background and just knowing how he is. He's a tough guy. He's going to come out okay. He's already looking at, trying to figure out a way to recreate with his wheelchair. He's looking at, RVs that are accessible for wheelchairs so that he can still, do that activity. And I know that he will make the best of it. Oh, lost me?
Tell him to look at Newmar. Newmar actually has an RV with a lift in it.
Yeah, I think he actually was looking at those ones. Yeah, I saw some of the ones he was looking at, but I know that Steven, his life has changed, but he's a tough guy. Like I said, he's strong. He's a good guy. He's got a lot of people, a lot of friends and family that support him and care about him, and including the free ride community here in the Northwest. And so he's going to be all right. We'll see him out again for sure, but maybe not on a jet ski.
Well, don't be surprised. I mean, you say that it sounds like the type of guy who's going to show up and say, "Hey, I'm building a blaster." I mean, something that'll, I mean, and that's the, quite honestly, that's the spirit of a lot of vets. People who put their lives on the line, selflessly to defend this country.
There's the one guy that runs the GP 1800 on AJ's events.
What is it? Radaway?
Yeah, Anthony Radatek.
That's it.
Yeah. Radman. Yeah.
Yep.
No,
he's ex-military as well.
Yeah. I mean, you look at a lot of these former military guys, and they just don't know how to give up. I mean, unfortunately, a number of them, suffer from a whole host of issues where, it's the other side of the spectrum. But, obviously, it sounds like Steven has a great support mechanism, with all his friends in the West Coast free ride community. Obviously a great wife. We saw some pictures that Phoenix put up, and to have that support mechanism in place is huge in term. And when you're talking about such a life-changing event.
Yeah, they've been married for I think over 24 years. I think 24, 25. I can't remember exactly, but
she's not going anywhere. She's used to his nonsense by now.
Right.
They're lifers.
just like us. Our
Right.
wives are like, it's
say-
cheaper to keep them.
Yeah.
But in all
Yeah,
seriousness,
she's taking good care of him.
I'm sure she is. And to be honest, Dan, we really, from a Watercraft Network perspective, we want to help H2O Industries spread the word, and we thank you for coming on and helping to circulate this. And and credit to other outlets like ours. Jody here next to me reached out to Bobby Cardone, who hosts a similar show. I believe, I'm not sure, I didn't catch his show Monday night, but Bobby said he was going to make mention of this. And I think this is an opportunity for the community to come together. It doesn't matter from my perspective, what your affiliations are. If you're a Richter guy or a Tigercraft guy, if you're an IJSBA supporter or pro Watercross, this is one of those situations where all of us should realize, that we're part of a small community, and somebody who really put their life on the line to protect the freedoms that we enjoy.
So we can go do what we do.
That person really needs our support. And as a community, we appreciate those other outlets that we always haven't have an amicable relationship with, kind of putting personal feelings aside for what's better for the community. So, we just wanted you to know that we think everybody's pulling for Steven, and we expect the community to really step up and help pitch in, not just monetarily, but I know that H2O Industries is putting stuff together for a prize pack in Daytona. And we're really confident that there's going to be a really strong degree of support.
Yep, I agree with everything you're saying. I think it's great what H2 Industries have done. I think it is $5 get you an entry, but Brandon can update you guys on that next week. Everything's on the H2O Industries website for anybody that wants to go and donate and get your name in the hat for some of the pretty awesome prizes that they've been able to gather already. I know he's working on more. If you're a supporter of to military, if you are an industry that needs, is looking to do something charitable, I can't think of a better cause than helping Steven and his family out. And it's really easy to do. Brandon has it set up on the website, and it's a piece of cake to walk through and make a donation. I would encourage anybody that is feeling charitable these holidays to make this your charity.
I think that's very well said, and I think you're going to see, some of the bigger players within the industry, and even some of the smaller players. It's situations like this that really bring out the best in everybody, and I really strongly believe we're going to have a lot of industry people, enthusiasts, riders, as well as businesses jump in and really support this, because as you just said, it's a more than worthy cause, and it's the least we can do as community members. And before we let you go, Dan, we have to ask you. We asked this question of all of our heavy hitters, and because you're affiliated with legendary Grayland, we consider you to be one of the heavy hitters. So you don't just be aware that you're in the presence of greatness. We're talking the Tara Lehos and Sam Nemes and Larry Rippenkrogers, and you're in good company here. The question that we ask the heavy hitters is, if you could have one, just one, delivered to your house like it was in a time capsule, brand new, what old school ski would you pick and have dropped off at your doorstep?
A wet bike.
Oh, he went,
that
wow.
was out of
No,
that
that's
was
a
way out of
surprise.
left field.
I honestly, Dan.
You're talking vintage. I think.
Oh
you're
yeah,
cool.
no, we're talking vintage, but I was really,
I did not expect that.
I didn't expect it either.
I thought you were going to go X2,
FX1,
95 X2, somewhere in that
I
ballpark.
like all those skis too.
I did not expect a wet
time
bike.
capsule. I'd go with the wet bike.
That's so cool that you went wet bike. Like we said, like we cut our teeth on all the old school stuff, and you just brought us back to our youth. Talking wet bikes. We were expecting you to say 550 SX or FX1 or so that's really a great choice, and that's one that's going to go down.
Caught me off guard.
Totally.
Definitely off guard.
It's funny. We had Haggis. Will you stop hitting that? He's the producer's premature over here. We had
It's not me. I swear to God.
We had Haggis on from Pro Watercraft, and he said square nose.
Yeah.
We had Tara Leho on. She said square nose. So we had you. We're thinking, okay, he's going
stereotyped.
He's going, he's going Superjet. He's going 550, or he's going FX1. So you pulled that one out of left field. That was good.
I appreciate the interestingness of a wet bike.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever ridden one?
I haven't.
Oh man, let me tell you, for stand-up riders, there's still a considerable learning curve. We grew up 550. FX1 was my go-to for years before I got too old, and now it's an SXR. But I'll tell you, a wet bike, there's a huge learning curve. It kind of tricks you a little bit. You get out there, you get comfortable, and then the next thing you know, you slap your face off the water, and the water goes in one ear and out the other. But a lot of fun.
Yeah, I imagine they'd be fun to ride. I've always kind of wanted to. I just never had the opportunity to get on one that actually runs.
Well, hey Dan,
that's always been a problem.
Yeah,
too.
well, exactly. That's the is wet bikes, are they a blessing or a curse? You choose. But we appreciate you taking the time. We wish that we had talked to you under better circumstances. We're going to continue to drive this with our friends from H2O. We're going to have Brandon on next week, and we're going to do the best we can for Steven. And we know in our hearts that if the tables were turned, you'd be doing the same thing for somebody, that we consider a family member who we ride with. So, again, thanks so much for what you do for the industry and the community. And hopefully we can catch up with you again before next summer and, talk about your upcoming, the events. And,
let's talk again as we get closer to that time. Like I said, August is the first event, which is the Grayland Open, and September will be the IFWA Tour stop at Seabrook. So maybe we get together in, June or so and have another chat as I get farther along with all of my marketing material and all that. And I'll send you guys some stuff, and it'd be awesome to help get the word out. If you guys could help me
sounds
out,
like a
that'd be
game
awesome.
plan. And
send us some video.
And, we want to talk to you prior to that, because quite honestly, Watercraft Network is going to, we're going to put something out for 2021 event and rider sponsorship. And we want to help if we can donate to Grayland, something we're interested in doing. So we'll touch base with you. We'll talk offline well before June.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks for
Hey,
having me on, guys.
oh, hey, thank you for coming on, and have a great holiday season.
You too.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks again, Dan.
Yep, thanks.
Hey, you know what I just noticed?
What's up?
Something about guys named Dan who are just good guys and host free ride events.
True. Wave days.
Wave Days,
Grayland.
Grayland. You know, go figure. It's just wild. What a great guy and what a great cause. And again, we can't thank H2O Industries enough for what they've done in order to pull all this together. You know, I mean, you talk about true community-orientated people, started a small business literally in their living room, and now they make some of the best products in the industry. And look at what they're doing. They're running a small business. They're traveling around supporting events, and they put this together, this initiative, this campaign, and just goes to show you the quality people that they are.
And next week, we're going to talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah,
But if you get a shot, go to h2oindustries.com. Right there on the front page, you'll see everything about Steven, a little write-up about him. You'll be able to donate every $5. Get you a ticket. Get in that giveaway. I think you're going to be happy with what you're going to get, or possibly could win.
I think he's there by the time Daytona rolls around
It's gonna
in
be
January. It's going to be crazy. And listen, they're only running this this donation, monetary donation, buy a
Christmas
ticket
Eve.
until Christmas
That's
Eve.
it. That's the cutoff.
So you have just over a month. So you're going to hear us for the next, 5 weeks, really waving the flag. And we thank Bobby. Bobby committed to help market this campaign. We really appreciate anyone else who can go to the H2O Giving Back social media page, share it to other groups, other ride groups, other entities, pages, whether it's a Riva page or anything you can do to help circulate the message and really help the community, help a veteran, be a great thing to do.
And $5 is not a lot of money.
No.
$10, not a lot of money.
Plus, it's the holidays, man. Everybody's feeling generous around the holidays. You've been cooped up in Corona captivity. You can throw a couple bucks and help out and help a vet. So we got to give some love right now. Now's what we call Love Fest portion of the show.
Love Fest?
Love Fest. We got to give love to Liquid Molly. You know how we love Liquid Molly. Got to give some love to WSM Performance Products, Watercraft Superstore.
I just get nervous when you say Love Fest.
Bomber Eyewear, the only floating eyewear out there that's worth buying. We're back next week with our friends from H2O Industries. Bishop, the super producer, you ready to take us out? We're gone. Adios. We'll see you Wednesday.
So we offer a complete engine kit. Comes with everything you would need to rebuild your outboard engine. We offer a complete kit, different sizes. We offer all different sizes, pistons. The kit comes complete with gaskets, piston, everything you need, bearings to do your whole engine.